some good stuff. Like, so he was like, I'm going to be intentional about coming up with everyday wear clothes. That's one of his things. And I was like, that sounds cool. So I kind of like that, Whitney. I'm about to do the New Year's intentions instead of resolutions.
I don't know about my, like, in the house wear. I do kind of want to have, like, develop my clothing, my brand clothing-wise, though.
Wait. You talking about your own brand?
Yeah.
You got your own brand?
I mean, like, personal brand.
Oh, okay. So you want a clothing line?
No. I'm not talking about developing one. I'm talking about the way that, you dress.
So
for example,
yourself,
Steve Jobs.
Personal style.
Steve Jobs was always the
black turtleneck and the jeans.
Yeah,
looking like a total dad.
But I want to like develop my own kind of personal brand, where it's like, that looks like it's very me. This fits with my.
You mean your own personal look? That's what you mean.
Yeah, but it still can flow in with brand though.
Okay, but I think brand, and I think of like, your own type of product service thing. But when you say you want to have your own like look, I got you. Like, I know what you're trying to say. Then I could be like, this is Whitney. Like me, people know what's me already. In fact, I get makeup every year for gifts. Every year. I love you all, my friends, but y'all give me so much makeup. It's ridiculous. I got like lips. I don't even need to buy makeup. I've been giving makeup for the past 3 years. I don't buy makeup at all anymore.
If I could remember
only my foundation.
If I could remember the words, I would have started singing that Todrick Hall song.
Oh, what is it? Which one is it? Is it the Shablam for me? Shablam for me. That one?
Yeah. I love it.
That's the only part I remember because he's like, growl for me, Shablam. And I was like, what is Shablam?
I don't know.
I think he was just missing a lyric right there.
He was just like, he was so fierce on it too. I'm like, dang. Mm-hmm. And then when he was doing some of that, like, I was at...
The popping the lips.
So Tiffany's sister's house, I was at their family's house. We were there for Christmas. And we were playing, I think it's Just Dance. It was something for the Switch. It wasn't for like...
Just Dance. Sorry.
The video game. So one of the ones I decided to play was the Todrick Hall song.
Oh, girl, you worked yourself out.
Yes. Oh my God, I was so hot by the end of that song. But then you get to the part where he go down, drop down onto his knees. I was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Right? Remember, I got injured from trying to drop it like it was lukewarm at the Masquerade Ball last year. No, a couple years ago. So I was like, I got an injury just from trying to drop it like it was lukewarm.
And I don't even have an injury. I just don't have great knees. So I knew not to even try.
Whitney!
I was like, girl, please.
Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Triple F Queen Bola, here on the Mizike.
And it's your girl, No Tagline Whitney.
This is growing on me so much. I actually love hearing No Tagline Whitney. And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney. How y'all doing, y'all? Hey.
What's up? Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year to you.
And say 2000, well, we're almost out of time. Dun, dun,
get it, Whitney?
Dun, dun.
I don't even know what song this is.
Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay. I was not sure where you were going because I'm not
1999, but it's still, I think of it like as a New Year type of song.
I don't blame you. Because I was thinking that, but I was like, it's not 1999, so. And, what's up? What's up? What's going on?
Glad to see you guys back. You might have noticed that we were down for a little bit. We've actually switched podcast hosts, you guys, because our podcast host shut down.
Without us knowing.
Apparently they did send an email, but the email got routed to promotions. So we ain't see that at all.
We ain't catch nothing, y'all. We ain't catch nothing.
So while I was like, when we uploaded the last episode, when I was researching, okay, where should we switch to? I also got the date of the switch. I thought it was the 31st of December. It was the 30th. So on December 30th, I'm in there like, all right, I know who we'll sign up with. And I'm like, no!
And I like recommended some people to listen. And they went there like, I can't hear anything it keeps saying. And I went on every kind of platform to listen to a podcast. And I was like, Whitney, where are we? We can't listen. I was like, I went to all of them. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. I couldn't find us. I was like, what happened to us?
And I was like, yeah, about that.
I was like, what y'all do that for? Okay. Anyway, we're back, y'all. We're back.
We're back. We're now.
And is this a new season? Is this a new season, Whitney?
Should it be?
Maybe. New year, new season. It's a new season. It's a new day. Anyway, that's just a Christian
New
song.
phone, who dis?
I know, right? Anyway, we're happy to be back with you all. And, of course, we got great things coming for you this year. We're going to try and do some new stuff, and you might see us on YouTube and everything.
Big things popping. I can't remember the rest of that rap song.
What song is that?
Something. Big things popping. I don't know, y'all. Maybe somebody knows what I was talking about.
It's messed up when you only catch a lyric, like just a little part of a song, and then you're like, what's the rest of it? Don't ask me.
I don't know.
But I get you, because it happens to me all the time. But yeah, we're going to try and do some new stuff for you guys. Of course, we're always going to come with the reviews as usual. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we might review like a show or a restaurant or a book or anything else. You know, we're blurting out about a lot of different things. So just expect to see us, hear us. And you might see us on YouTube. What, Whitney? Maybe?
I mean, y'all will hear us on YouTube. The first,
yes.
we do plan on starting a YouTube channel, you guys. We're going to put the episodes on there. It's just going to have the logo up there. But we're going to pull some clips out. And I'll try to do something creative with the clips. Not for the episode. The episodes are too long to try to do.
Oh, yeah, of course. We might do some, and I will definitely post, maybe we can have our promotion videos up there as well. Just so you can see our lovely faces. Yeah. Our lovely faces. I'm going to try to convince Whitney to do one show where we just record ourselves. I'm going to try. Y'all pray for a chick. Pray for a chick. Because Whitney don't like the cameras. She don't like the cameras, y'all.
I don't dislike the cameras. It's just that, okay, I'm dressed because I had to go to work today. Go into the office today. But, Bola be wanting me to put real clothes on.
Exactly. I want you to look good. I'd be popping. Look at me. I'm already, my pants match my outfit. Look, I'm all colorful every season.
Yeah, you always look awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Plus size divas hat. Anyway.
But that's just not me. Every once in a while I'll put some effort in, but I'm very low to no maintenance.
We're going to try, y'all. We're going to try. Anyway, so again, this episode is the first one of the year. And we're going to be doing what, Whitney? Talking about what? Encanto. Yes, we started with the animated movie. Talk to us about it, y'all. Talk to us about it. No, you shouldn't come at us. Because, we started with an animated movie because we like animated movies. Right, Whitney?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
and cartoons. We like animations, and I like a straight-up cartoon.
I
like the one that Bola doesn't like, Centaur World.
It depends. If it's like an interesting one, I might look into BoJack
Horseman.
I might look into that one.
And that's one I don't have an interest
in. And
in.
I can appreciate Family Guy at times.
I love Family Guy. It's funny.
I like a grown up one. I like a grown up one. It depends, but I mostly like my animated movies because they just be having grown folks crying all the time, y'all.
Oh my God, yes.
Can I get a tissue?
Every movie in the last however many years that I've actually cried at, it's always been animated.
Mm-hmm.
Disney and Pixar, they just be tearing up my feel. You're tearing up my heart
when I'm with you, and when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you, of course. Hey, we should cut it before we get to it.
No.
I'm going to get into Justin. Baby, I don't understand why we can't be lovers. Things are getting out of hand. Okay, I'm done.
But it is. We had to do the doon because that's
the best part.
Fire.
The drum boom.
Fire.
Oh, the 90s.
Is it just drum or is it what is that part?
It might be a synthesized, but it sounds like drums to me.
Okay.
It sounds like some kind of percussion thing or synthesized percussion. But it's just really cool. I love that part. Anyway, but yes, I was even watching the beginning. I was watching it the second time and I was like, why am I crying again? I didn't know what's happening. I got extra emotional, but these days I've been getting emotional a lot lately. I don't know what it is. What do you think it is, Whitney?
Hormones, girl.
Man, seriously. I've been having baby fever too. I would be honestly, guys, it's ridiculous. I have no children.
That has not hit me.
I have no children. I do love babies. I'm not gonna lie. She knows. People love dogs the way I love children. I love babies. They're so cute. I'm like, Can I hold him, please? I'm that way with babies. However, I'm like, I'm okay without a kid right now. I got one. But lately, I just been like, baby fever. I've been watching baby videos on Instagram all the time. My mom was like, oh, good.
What?
I'm not joking. It's either that or like funny animal videos with comical voiceovers. I would be up late at night watching either one. And I was like, what is this baby thing? And I was like, I want a baby. And my mom's like, good, your hormones are working. And I was like, Mom. Anyway, but I was just crying and bawling. And I was just like, I don't know why. Excuse me. But it just made me, I don't know. I like the animated movies. They touch my heart.
I do too.
They do something to you.
They do a really good job. Like Disney and like Pixar, they do a really good job with like that underlying message.
Yes.
But it's not like in your face.
Over your head.
It's show, don't. It's like it's
show, don't tell.
Which
Look
you know,
at you losing the literary thing.
Yeah,
girl.
Because that's like the problem with like it's fun. I think it's awesome to always have like an underlying message. But some people are so heavy-handed with it. It's like I don't even like it anymore.
Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, we get it.
We get it, yeah. But
you
it's like Disney and Pixar like do such a great job.
They
with
make it like that's what I keep saying. They do a great job of taking these complex like ideas and emotions and make it easily digestible for kids and enjoyable for adults. Mm-hmm. It's like it's magic. Oh, it's closest thing we have to magic. I don't know what it is.
It's the wonderful world of Disney.
I have to say, I mean, I know they're like a mega conglomerate or whatever, but I'm like, they produce some wonderful things. Like, so I'm just down with it. The story, everything. We'll get into it, but we'll do what first?
Blerd out.
Bum, bum, blerd out. Bum, bum, bum. Can we do that? Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew what you were going for.
Okay. So I'm going to let Whitney go first.
Okay. Man, I've been blurting out about a number of things. So I subscribed to Apple TV Plus for like a trial because I wanted to watch Ted Lasso. I've been hearing all these things about it, and I didn't really wasn't that interested in it because I saw like the TV series poster, and I'm like, I don't know why I would be this interested in it. I don't know why people are always talking about it.
It's a sports show.
Yeah. And so I was like, but I kept hearing so many people talk about it, including like people that I follow on Twitter who I'm like really interested in the stuff that they watch because it's stuff that if they watched it and liked it, I'm like, then I knew I would like it. Mm-hmm. So I tried it with like the Apple TV Plus trial, and I was like, oh my God, this show is awesome.
You guys, you're talking about, because Whitney, of course, this is what Whitney does, y'all. She locks me in her house and forces me to watch it. I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, but she does heavy-handedly force me to watch things.
She's a captive audience
by like intense suggestion. Don't you want to sit and watch this? Or she'll be like, well, let me just show you this clip real quick. And I'm like, all right, I'll check something out. And then I'm at 2 hours later, you know.
I like that. That's right. That is me. I am the spider. Come into my web. Said the spider to the fly.
She does let me watch some very interesting things I would not normally watch, or things I would not get to watch, because Whitney got all the streaming, y'all. I don't got ever streaming.
I mean, I did do a trade-off. I stopped my Paramount Plus subscription because I hadn't watched anything on it in a while.
There's so much stuff to stream.
And then in place of that, I let my subscription go ahead and charge me for Apple TV Plus because after Ted Lasso, which is amazing. It's like, it's funny, but it's got so much heart. That's like the best way to describe it.
It hits you immediately. I've only seen a few episodes, and I'm just like, this show is amazingly funny. And again, I am much of a fan of British humor and comedy. I just get them. I've been watching their stuff for ages, so I just get them. I'm in tune. Lots of times I know these actors already. I was like, oh yeah, he was in this other British thing and this other British thing.
So
and Whitney's like, what?
So I knew Bola was going to like it, but the person who was going to be a little bit more skeptical was my mom. Because my mom's not exactly like a comedy show watcher.
Really? I love me some comedy.
I mean, she likes comedy, but that's not her genre. Her genre of stuff to watch is suspense or suspense thrillers.
So she really likes suspense.
Mm-hmm, she does.
I didn't know that.
She's really good at guessing stuff before it happens, too.
My sister's like that. It's so weird. Like, she was always like, I should write a book, because she's always right about things. And even when I watch something
I was like, you should have been a detective, Mom.
Right. And I was like, Shashi, you should be right. She's like, nah, I don't like writing. But I was like, but she comes up with the ideas, and like, she knows where it's going. And I'm just like, wow. Anyway, continue.
Me too. Like, I don't figure it out until they actually tell me.
Right? I was like, I didn't catch that. She's like, well, how can you not say that? How can you not? Of course it's going to be this. And I was like, dang. Because when we watched Knives Out, she figured it out before I did. And I was like, nah, you couldn't figure that mess out. No, you did not figure that mess out. It was such a twist. She was like, I knew it.
But yeah, so my mom, being that that's not her genre, she was skeptical. I was like, Mom, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch it. She was like, Whitney, you know that you don't have anything like suspense that we could watch. I'm like, just give it a try, Mom. Mm-hmm. Give it a couple episodes. And she did. She went through it and she loved it.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm going to watch the rest of it.
Yeah. It's an awesome show. So then after that, I watched The Morning Show, which is also an Apple TV Plus original. And then after that, I watched C, which is an Apple TV Plus original with Jason Momoa with his sexy self.
So we're going to have a whole list of honorable mentions for this Blurred Out. Honestly, we are. Because I have a list of shows that
I guess my Blurred Out is really just Apple TV Plus in general. Because then after that, I watched Servant, which is like an M. Night Shyamalan produced
Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm. Produced show, and it was also awesome. So that's why I decided to just let them charge me, because I'm like, all right,
let me keep this Apple. There's a good stuff on there. Yeah, somebody one of my coworkers told me about something that was on there that was really good. I think Defending Jacob or something.
I've heard of it.
Defending Jacob. It has the Doherty, the lady. I forgot her first name. Michelle Doherty, I think, from Downton Abbey, and Captain America himself, Chris Evans. Yeah, so they're both in there, and then they have a kid. Something happened, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was very interesting when it came out. It came out like last year, but he said it was really good, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check that out. But again, I don't have Apple anything. I don't subscribe to any Apples,
and I had neither. Like I said, my intention was to get the 7-day trial, binge watch every single thing I could, and cut that ish off. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, there's some good stuff. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Paramount TV Plus for right now until something that I watch comes back on. So
did you just put it on pause, or did you, like, get rid of it completely?
I mean, I canceled it because, you know, it's like Netflix. You can cancel and restart whenever you want. Okay. So when it comes back on, I'll just restart.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, stuff like, I know Hulu has a pause option, because I have paused Hulu in the past, but since there's a lot of stuff that Hulu has now, which wasn't the case like years ago.
Yeah, they're much better.
Yeah, and then I kind of keep Hulu going. I've never tried to pause my Netflix because Netflix is like my core thing.
Yeah, we never get rid of Netflix at my house too. Yeah. So it was like, that has to be working. Yeah. That and Vicky, because my mom and my sister watch Korean stuff like every day. That and Vicky, both of them got to be operating. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
Okay. But yeah, so that's my Blurred Out. What you blurring about, Bola?
Okay, so your girl watched a bunch of. It was the holiday season, y'all, so we had like a couple weeks, and I was just watching stuff. I was just like, I'm gonna enjoy. I wasn't feeling well at some point, so I was like, I'm just staying in the house, enjoy some stuff. Okay, so I have my list of honorable mentions, but my two things I'm gonna really get into. Okay, before we get into Encanto, so I watched a movie called Boxing Day. This is actually, my thing is about Amazon Prime. These shows were on Amazon. Like, 3 things I'm going to blurt out were on Amazon Prime, and I was very, very happy to watch them. They were so good.
Ooh, can I just jump in for 1 sec?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot that I also watched Everybody's Talking About Jamie on Amazon. I've never heard of that one. It's about a boy young man in, I don't even know what to translate their school system into, but like
England?
Yeah, in England. And he wants to be a drag queen. Oh. I mean, everybody in the school already knows he's gay, but he also wants to be a drag queen. So it's about, like, I think it's based off of a true story.
It's like a coming out story?
Yeah. Well, a second coming out story, because he already came out as gay, but now
he wants to be a drag queen. Oh, okay.
But it was fun. It started off, like, a little bit on the slower side, where I was like, and then, like, the heart in the story came in, and I was like, all right.
It picked up speed?
It picked up speed. That's good. I mean, I don't know if speed is the word for it.
Steam.
It, like, got me invested. Once they had, like, the story elements, like, stuff with his dad and everything, and, oh, man, it was, like, heartbreaking. Oh. Yeah. And that, like, really pulled me in. And, characters, like, real heart and characters or really good storyline pull me in. Of course, I love a musical. I always love a musical.
Oh, wow. It's a musical as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a whole thing then.
Yeah, a whole thing. But it was enjoyable, so I just wanted to throw that in since you were talking about Amazon shows.
Okay, so so the 3 things that I watched on Amazon Prime that I, like, absolutely loved. First one was a British movie called Boxing Day. Everybody knows in England they celebrate Boxing Day. It's the day right after. Okay, so if you guys don't know, in England they celebrate, or excuse me, let me say the UK, they celebrate Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's about.
I think it has something to do with the actual boxes from Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know what they do with it. So that part was not explained in the movie because it was nothing about that. It was just called Boxing Day, and it's like a Black British movie. So it was about a family. Like this guy, he had an issue. Like they come from a Jamaican background. And he came to the U.S. because he had some family issues. He came to the U.S., met a beautiful black girl that he wanted to marry. And then he wanted to propose to her. And then she was like, well, no, if you're going back home, you got to see your family. I need to meet your family. And then stuff ensues because he left the family because of an issue, a big family issue that happened. Like a big family trauma or whatever. And so he coming back, he hadn't talked to his family. He didn't call them or anything for a couple years. So it was like a whole big thing because nobody knew this and that and the third. But girl, it was good. Okay. I loved it. I loved seeing the whole like Black culture London, like the people that talk like, you know, in it man, yeah, bruv, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I do like that.
Men's, I got big man tings. I love when they talk like that.
I do love that.
I love when they talk like that. I love the British people that are like, man's not hot, man. Man's not hot. Allow it. You know? So I was just like, I love talking like that because I love when they're like, you gotta do the London style. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Cockney or whatever that region is, but it's the Jamaican British. Oh my god, they make me laugh so bad, but it was hilarious. Beautiful story. Love me and my family watched it, and it was just fun and great, and I really liked it. It was great, y'all. So ping on that one. And I love me some love stories, Christmas love stories.
Christmas love stories.
And then the second one was another love story series that I've always been meaning to watch. Now Whitney doesn't like slice of life stories.
Not my thing, usually.
It's not. And I like them because I just like a nice poignant thing. It's like, what I like about them is that they're so poignant. You're just like this one little slice of their life, and you're just like there, and then the story is, and it's done. So there was a show called Modern Love. It's a TV series. Each episode deals with different people. But the 2 seasons are actually different because the first season is all like everybody's in New York.
Isn't that all the stories? What's the Indian guy's name?
Dev Patel, he's in it, and
No. The stand-up comedian guy, the short one.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah,
he's not in that. No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, he has a different show on Netflix.
Okay.
But this show has Dev Patel, the other Indian actor, that's very famous, like the award-winning one from Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then Anne Hathaway's in it, Tina Fey. A lot of people are in the first season, and it all like you know. The sad thing is, you know what I did, Whitney? I ended up watching season 2 first. So I was like, oh yeah. I was like, but I didn't see Anne Hathaway. How come the show's? And I was like, wait a minute. I watched season 2 first.
I get annoyed with how Netflix does that sometimes for like what's that episodic show? Well, actually, I think they did it to me on Hassan
Patriot Act.
Yeah, like I have to keep like putting it to the right episode because they've got it going from second to first, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's so weird, and I don't know why that. Usually, Amazon is good with like starting from the beginning, but I don't know what I did that I ended up starting with season 2 first. I loved it because season 2 went to England a couple times. So all the episodes were disjointed and not connected. But season 1, all the episodes were everybody
serialized.
All the episodes were about different people, but they all were in New York. And then at the end, they did like a whole thing where you got to see everybody interact. Like, not interacting, but it's like they all were in this one episode. As opposed to in season 2, they didn't do that at all. There was no episode where you see all of them again. You just, different stories, bam, and that's it. But they were all about love, about different types of love, different type of situations. Whether it was either little girls, lesbians, like meeting somebody on a train, falling in love on a train, and then not getting the girl's phone number, and then believing that you guys will meet in a pandemic, you know, or like losing your love, or like love of a parent for a child, or different kind of love story. It was so beautiful.
That is interesting.
I'm sorry, it was really good. A lot of them were very, very self-contained. I loved it. Or like one story was about a gay couple who wanted a baby, and this girl, they got a baby from this surrogate who was like a really wild card chick who like she kind of was like a nomad and like went around the place, and then she came to stay with them for a little bit, and it was like she was so out there, but the love that was like what they were taught, the gay couple was taught through watching her have the baby and everything. It was so interesting. Like, I just enjoyed that series so much.
Oh, I might have to check
I
it
love
out.
love stories, but like Modern Love was very good because it was just like different stories, different situations, different people. Sometimes it's love about love of friends, like love of like love between like finding new love, as in like maybe somebody cheated on you, whatever, and then you find new love with someone else, or like love that never got to be. You know, it's like, oh, you guys were in the 60s, you guys were supposed to meet, something happened, and then you guys never met up until like 50 years later, but you guys loved each other, that kind of thing. It's just like, it's just a bunch of different love stories all around. Meeting somebody for the first time, going on a date, and a tragic thing happening at the hospital, and you're just like talking about, it's just so cool. Those are just different scenarios from the story. But I would recommend it highly because it was fantastic.
Well, see, that doesn't sound what I think of as slice of life. That sounds like, I mean, in my mind, I separate like love stories from like slice of life.
Okay.
So
because it's like, it's just one little hour of each one. Each episode's like this one little thing, and you don't really go back to. Yeah. There's not much more after that little one thing. So it's like you meet them and then you're out.
For me, like that's kind of like the basis. Whereas like for like Minari, I was like, there wasn't for me like exactly a basis. It would kind of felt a little meandering.
You felt like there wasn't like a main story. You felt like you're just watching scenes of people's life, right?
Right.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So they're contained. Some of them are like that, but most of them are very much contained. Most of them are very much contained. That you just like, oh, they're gonna move forward. You know what I mean? But oh my god, the series is fantastic. A bunch of different actors, a bunch of different stories. I was binging. Like, I was binging.
Okay.
Excuse me, I don't know why I keep coughing. But it was really really good. And then the third thing I watched on Amazon Prime was Being the Ricardos.
Oh, I wanted to see.
Oh my god, with Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman, that beautiful. They were telling the story of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, and I'm telling you, as someone who watched a lot of Nick at Night and all that kind of stuff back in the day, I watched a bunch of oldies. I love those shows.
I love Lucy. That was like one of my favorite ones because I would stay up late and watch Nick at Night as well. Yes, but I love Lucy and Bewitched were like my favorites.
Yes, I love the Brady Bunch. I watched so much of those shows. Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore.
I did love Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore.
All of those shows. Taxi. It's like so many shows. Oh my god! I swear, I was like looking back. I watched way too much TV.
As did I.
I watch a lot. Like a lot of my upbringing is just like TV. That's it. But I Love Lucy was one of my absolute favorites.
I did
absolute favorites. So I still have it in my heart. Like I was like, I remember this from my childhood. So to see them portray how Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz were outside of I Love Lucy. It was so different. You know what I mean? Like they went to the real thing. Like I did not know that the people that play the Mertzes, who were the couple, their friends that were always on the show, like those two like never got along outside of the show. Like it was like they couldn't stand each other. Like the woman that played Ethel couldn't stand the guy that played Fred like at all. They were always bickering and taking jabs at each other. And then Lucy was very, very, she was funny and for the show, but when it went off, Lucy was like a very much cutthroat, responsible jab. Like she was kind of like kind of harsh a little bit, just a little bit. But then again, Desi was cheating on her a lot. You know?
Oh my god!
Yes, and it was this particular show takes place in about this 1 week because you know about the communist scare, the McCarthyism, the blacklisting of Hollywood people and writers and all that kind of stuff because they were accused of being communists. That took place in the 50s. Do you know about that?
Well, I know about the Red Scare, but
okay, so this was another part that took place in the media world where it was like a lot of celebrities and everything that had claimed communism or claimed they were part of the Communist Party, or they were accused of being for certain things or they wrote or certain ideas they had. They were blacklisted in Hollywood or accused or all this kind of stuff. So they had all these trials and things that were taking place, and Lucy had already done her trial. But during that 1 week, she almost like lost her whole show because the news reported that she was a communist. And apparently that 1 week was like the worst week of their lives. Like, because Lucy was this close to losing everything. Her and Desi built everything together, especially Desi. He built a bunch of all their businesses, and the show they had like 60 million views at that time period, which is like everybody's eyes were on Lucy. So if this came out, she was going to be done for.
Mm-hmm.
And so this whole week, like you're watching about this whole week
Mm-hmm.
and what was going on with Lucy and all that kind of stuff. So it was about the story of her show and unproving that she was a communist, and also her upsetting discoveries of why her and Desi never saw each other. They were so busy. He was always on the boat. He was, living the philandering lifestyle. And she finally discovered what he was doing, and it was very heartbreaking because one of the things she always wanted was a home. And I did not know this side of Lucy. I didn't know this side of Lucy. Let's say Lucille Ball. I didn't know her story. I didn't know that she was very smart, very particular, a ball buster almost. So Nicole Kidman played her so well. Because it's weird when you watch these things and you learn about them, how they really are out of this. You're just like, well, dang, I didn't know all that. I couldn't imagine, but it was done so well.
Okay.
If they get an Oscar, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised at all.
I don't think they would get an Oscar.
No, I mean, not Lucille Ball, but I'm talking about Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. They did excellent jobs.
No, I'm just talking about it would probably be an Emmy, wouldn't it? Or a Golden Globe.
Oh, for TV. But it's a movie, though.
I thought you said it was a series.
It was a movie. Just one movie about them.
Oh, for whatever reason.
Boxing Day is a movie. Modern Love is a series. Being the Ricardos is also a movie.
For some reason, I thought it was a series.
Nope, it was just one movie. Just a couple hours, but it's very good.
Okay.
It's very, but me, I love a good biopic. And then, of course, I know about this stuff because we also studied this in school. We talked about the McCarthyism and the censorship and things that were going on. So I knew more about it because we talked about it in communications classes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was very interesting because I never knew that Lucille Ball was one of those people. But luckily, they had disproved her, so that's why I probably didn't know, because they had disproved it. But, I'm sorry. But a news report was coming out, and they were about to say, they already printed it. They were like, Lucille Ball's a red. And, oh my God, her husband helped save her life that day. It was just great. You guys got to watch it to get the whole story. I can't really talk about it in detail, but I was like glued to my seat. I could not stop watching. I just was like focused on it. It's a very good biopic, y'all. Very, very good. And J.K. Simmons is in it as well. He played Fred Mertz. The guy that plays Fred Mertz. Yeah.
I love J.K. Simmons.
He's everywhere. Okay.
I love him.
Okay, so the other thing I will blurt out about, and then we'll get into Encanto. So your girl is Triple F Queen Bola is a huge Potterhead. Not pothead, Potterhead, as in Harry Potter. Okay? I absolutely love Harry Potter. Now, I was boycotting the 20th anniversary special because they did not have JK because of the scandal and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, you guys cannot cancel someone who wrote the best thing that everyone has ever, a global phenomenon. Like, you can't cancel her. This is her stuff. So I was boycotting it because of it, but I caved and I watched it. And I'm telling you, Whitney, talk about crying. That's why I was so emotional all week. Like, I was crying my eyes out because I decided to watch it because it's not about all that stuff. It's about those stories, the books, the movies, this whole thing that took over a generation. Also, a few of my friends right now are at Harry Potter World, and I couldn't go with them. So I'm just like, it was all coming together. I was like, But I watched the 20th anniversary special where all of them came back. They're all in their 30s now. Some of them have kids. And it was so beautiful. I just kept crying. Hearing them talk about the people that had died that were on the show, how they grew up on the show. Because I was like, we were growing up with them. They started off around the same ages. Like, they were just a little bit younger. Me and Rupert, the guy that played Ron Weasley, we were the same age. But, I was just growing with them. And those books mean so much to me because they made me want to be a writer. Her books, and I just was it was escapism for me. I always went into the books when I was feeling whatever, I just had an escape. I had a world to just get lost in. And I treasured that world so much. It was so rich. I just was consumed by what she had written. She had written great books. The writing was great. The storytelling was great. I mean, I've never stayed up a whole day just to read a book, but I stayed up a whole day to read Goblet of Fire one day. It literally went to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and I was just reading the whole night. And it brought back nostalgia as well. I was so nostalgic about my Harry Potter days because I used to go to the Harry Potter, the book release parties with actually Ashley, your friend Ashley. I used to go with her and my other friend Nikki. Okay. Yep, we went to a couple of them. I was crazy about Harry Potter. I'm still crazy about it. I love it. So watching that touched my heart. And I was just like, it was so meaningful for a lot of people. The stories that come out of like Harry Potter helped me bond with my father, or like when my mom died, I read this, or like my dad used to read these to me all the time. Like everybody has like a story about this book, and I was like, there's nothing like it. I was just trying to like find, is there anything else that's so globally universal that people all over the world have their stories about Harry Potter? And I was like, there's no other thing that I can put it to, you know, where there's multiple entry points as the world is expanded. There's more books, there's everything, there's clothes, there's shoes. It's just everywhere. There's a world, and the movies live on, you know. The movies are still great movies to watch. So I was just like, I loved watching that special. I recommend it for anyone who's like a huge Potterhead like me. I don't know if you are, Whitney. I know you read the books, but I would recommend it. I'm not nearly
as big of a Potterhead as like...
I am a huge Potterhead all day. Gryffindor all day. Gryffindor. Okay. So I'm done with my blurting out.
Hufflepuff.
You are?
Yep.
You are a Hufflepuff? Well, I wouldn't imagine that. You would be a Ravenclaw to me if not a Gryffindor.
Nope, Hufflepuff.
Interesting.
Me and Ashley are Hufflepuffs.
Really? Well, I could see Ashley being a Hufflepuff. I definitely could see that. But I would definitely put you a Ravenclaw. You're just kind of smart and fun, you know. But you are kind of chill too, and you are kind of chill. So maybe you are a Hufflepuff. You're definitely not a Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Nope.
Okay.
Many of it's amazing how many of my friends are Slytherin. But
I know everybody wants to be. My sister wished she was Slytherin, but she took the test. She's a Gryffindor, but she loves Slytherin everything because of Snape. Snape's our favorite character.
Okay.
He was the GOAT at the end of the day. And I found out a secret that he actually knew the ending of Snape's. He got J.K. Rowling to tell him the ending before she actually wrote those books. Because he was playing Snape for so many years. I don't know how he did it. So he got J.K. to tell him like what Snape's real purpose was. I was like, how did he manage that? So he knew before the whole world knew that Snape was the GOAT the whole time. I was mad. Anyway. I'm not mad, but I just thought it was nice because Alan Rickman, the actor who plays Snape, is no longer with us.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I know. Rest in peace. So many great actors, so many great things happen.
I loved him as the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, he was that too. He was great. Anyway, but
I just love his voice.
I was blurting out about those things and just so much good stuff going on right now, y'all. Just
so much good stuff has been out for like a while. Did you ever watch Dash and Lily?
No, I didn't get to watch that this season. I know. That was one of the Christmas things it was on my list. Let me just say that's my saying to anyone who asks me if I ever watch this or that they recommended. It's on my list, y'all. It's on my list.
All right.
All right, are we ready for Encanto?
Let's get into Encanto.
Yeah, so Encanto is a Disney animated movie that is available for streaming right now on Disney Plus if you did not see it in the theaters already.
Yes, and this one was like different than a lot of Disney's other releases because most of their releases that come out in theaters, you have to pay like the $31 if you want to watch it at the same time. But this one, they never like they didn't charge you extra to watch it. You could watch it at the same time.
I think it's because they did release it in theaters first. And so
Did they? I thought they released it at the same time.
Did they? So you're saying Encanto was available at the same time it was in the theater?
I thought so.
I thought they put it on a little bit later than when it was released because Encanto was released like a couple, like last year, right? I don't know. We both Googling. It's not good. It's not good to have dead air because we're both Googling. Okay, I'm going to let her Google and I'll talk. She's Googling and I'm talking. So Encanto is a beautiful, let's say Hispanic story about a family in Colombia that are enchanted. Another word for that is Encanto.
Encanto. November 24th. Huh.
Yep, see? It came out sooner, so that's why it was available now. Like, because it wasn't on in November at all.
Okay. I assumed that it had come out at the same time. Well, in that case, the time between the release and when you could actually watch it was a lot shorter, I feel like, than other stuff had been. Yeah,
because I guess once people are stopped watching after a while, they're like, okay, we'll put stuff on there, you know. And I think it's those Marvel movies they really watch, like, when they release those things. Like, I feel like, but the other ones, I feel like they're like, okay, you can put it on a streaming thing now. Because I wanted to watch Sing 2, actually, and that one was, like, only in theaters a few weeks, and then they already started putting it on Vudu, which is some other app that I gotta figure out. I was like, maybe I should just go to the theater and watch Sing 2 by myself. I love singing so much. I would watch Sing 2 by myself.
I would go see it with you, but I need to watch the first Sing first. But it's not. I didn't see it on anything. I knew it used to be on Netflix. I love Sing it's not 1. Anymore.
It was good. There's singing in there. Plus Tori Kelly, and then little guy from Kingsman. Oh, the Kingsman is one I wanted to watch too. The Kingsman. Have you seen the Kingsman series?
I also wanted to see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh yeah, there were so many movies coming out, y'all.
That actually in theaters. I was like, I actually want to see that.
But COVID and Rona is just running around a little too much.
It is rampant, you guys.
It's causing a lot of issues, y'all. So y'all be safe because everybody and their mama is getting sick out here.
Sorry, I was about to make an inappropriate reference.
I want to hear it.
It was the what was it like? I forgot what the lady's name, but the guy the person remixed it on YouTube. Hide your kids, hide your mom, hide your kids, hide your mom.
For real. Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids. Oh well, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was hide your wife. My bad.
You don't have to go and confess. We looking for you. We gonna find you. We gonna find you. And you can run and tell that. Run and tell that. Run and tell that. Homeboy, homeboy. And it's so funny because he was on the BAT Awards the next year, like really trying like he was gonna be somebody, and I was like, he didn't make no other single. Anyway, that was a good one, Whitney. So they made a remix to Coronavirus for Rona?
No, it's just that when you said something about what you said.
Oh, I said everybody and their mama out here getting sick.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about instead of they raping everybody out here, is everybody's getting COVID out here.
Oh yeah, because that whole thing. For y'all who don't know, that whole song came out when back in the day. I don't even know what year that was.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
The story was that this guy, his sister, somebody came through their window to try and rape his sister. And then, he didn't, luckily nothing happened to her, but then he went out and they were trying to find him. And he was just on TV, snapping his neck, extra ghetto. And he was like, the way he was talking, it was like a song. So he just blew up because his video went viral.
And then somebody else remixed it, cut together clips and remixed it into a rap song, or hip hop song.
It was like his whole song. He was trying to get paid, and it was so hilarious. Why are y'all turning this tragic thing into this?
It was so entertaining. Everybody's seen it though.
Everybody has, you've seen it. They're climbing up your window, they're snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your girlfriend because they're raping everybody out here. It was so terrible. Don't ask me why I learned it. Don't ask me why I learned all the lyrics.
Because it was so catchy.
And I was I liked the attitude of it. I was just it was so hilarious to me that I just wanted to learn the words, so I sang it. Anyway, back to Encanto. All right, so let's go with first impressions.
Oh my God. So beautiful.
Yes, the colors. I'm colorblind, kid.
Yes!
I had to do it before you. I had to do it before you this time. Because you always catch that line. I was like, let me do it this time.
Oh, man, yeah. It was so beautiful. I mean, even just the posters and the trailers, you just knew it was going to be a beautiful movie. And it was. It's hard. I don't know if cinematography is still the word when it's for animation, but the cinematography is beautiful. Just beautiful.
I love a movie that is a colorful feast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it was delightful, and
it was so beautiful.
It
was so colorful, and I liked again. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we've been watching a lot of good Hispanic movies and television, but again, that's because of Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay.
Yes. Lin-Manuel is tearing it up out here.
He's doing it for his people. I gotta give him up because he did all the original songs, and I was like, of course, because all these songs are amazing.
They were fire.
They were good. They were really good. I mean, my first impressions of the movie, I was like, wow. I was blown away. I could not stop watching it. It was so beautiful, and I wanted to get down to the secret. And I was like, what's the story? Why doesn't this young girl got a gift? What's happening to the family? It was amazing. I liked seeing... One thing I have to give it props for was I liked seeing the representation of Afro-Latinos as well as regular Latinos. You saw the color spectrum in this film, even within the family, because I was like, a lot of Hispanic families have that. And I remember talking about it when we watched In the Heights, that a lot of people were giving him flack for not having any Afro-Latinos in there, which are dark-skinned. There are Latinos that are dark-skinned, they look black. And they are black. They're Hispanic descendants, And so that community, or those people, the subgroup, I guess, got at him. And I guess somebody heard and listened. So when they did this, they well, we're going to have everybody in here. We're gonna have the light ones, the middle ones, and the darker ones, and the darker ones. You know.
Yeah,
and then the family was so great. I loved it.
Peppa was like really light,
and
kind
her
of
husband,
almost like a reddish kind of hair.
She was kind of more of like have European features, which is you can also see in like no one know that Alexis Bledel is Hispanic actually. The girl that plays Gilmore Girls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's not just white. She's born and raised in Argentina. Speaks Spanish as her first language. Yep. But she is blue-eyed and brown-haired, and you would think all day that she was a regular white girl. But she's actually Hispanic. So they have them that look like that.
It's harder to distinguish as far as like the Spain or what's that other one that's next to Spain? Is it Portugal? Yeah, the Spain and like Portuguese.
It's weird because sometimes Spanish they can look like Javier Bardem, and then they can look like what's that girl's name?
More Aztecan type of features. They're more for I think,
or the Italian look even. Some of them look Italian.
Yeah. There are some like physical features that are just more easily identified as Hispanic than others. I guess like the
and those
Spanish,
are the ones like the Mexicans and the Cubans and it's a whole amalgamation because a lot of that's one of the colonized areas. So there was a lot of different people going to like Africans went to the Caribbean and they went down to South America as well. Slaves were taken there too. So it's like all over the place. It was up and down, you know. You had the people, the Mayans, the Incas, those kind of people who were actually more Native American, really, mixing. And then those people became the Mexicans. So it's like they have so much of a color spectrum of who could be Hispanic, you know. And I love that was represented in their family because it's like, they're like, yeah. That was a really great point that I had to put in there because I was like, yes, Afro-Latinos were in here. Afro-Latinos were in here. I loved it. I liked it. The color spectrum was great. But the story, let's talk about the story.
Yeah, so I was just really, as I'm watching this movie, I just got so upset with Abuela.
Yes, Abuela. Let's talk about her. Abuela is the matriarch of the family. And she discovered the candle. By the way, I hope y'all went and watched this before y'all listen to us.
Y'all know never to watch.
Y'all know
listen
spoilers
to
about it. Like, you're supposed to just know already. We don't got to even say this again, right? Okay. We're not going to say it again. But Abuela is the matriarch of the family, and she discovered the candle during the problem of...
And she was kind of the source or the inciting incident for the candle. Like, the candle, like, came to the family in response to her
needing aid, I guess. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't explain, like, where that came from. I'm just like, I'm guessing it just appeared out of nowhere.
I didn't have a problem with them not explaining it because that would be kind of... I think it would be weird if they did. Because, like, I feel like they don't know. Like, it came into being because she needed it. Like, her need brought it into being or called it.
You know me, I always need, like, I need an explanation for everything. I just need an explanation for everything. But, that part I was like, okay, so the candle just magicked itself out. She's the matriarch,
and she's also kind of like the main...
I thought she was the glue for the family.
She was the glue for the family. I'm looking for the word. It's not nemesis.
Antagonist?
Antagonist, that's the word. I'm like, thank you, Bola. She was the glue for the family, but she's also kind of like, when you look at it, the main antagonist.
Because she was she was so desperately cleaving to the magic of the candle, especially after she lost her husband, and she was had 3 little babies. I'm not gonna lie, just to say, I know it's a cartoon, but I'm like, how does she hold those 3 babies? Like that. Like, I was just like, she running in the water and then she just clutching the 3 babies. I'm like, I would have dropped one of them babies. I would have been mad, but I knew I would have dropped one. Because I'm like, 1 baby is enough.
Well, if there were triplets, if you have more than 1 baby at a time, are they usually smaller? Because there's more than 1?
Maybe. I know. Again, applying logic to a cartoon. I don't know, Whitney. I was just like, how she hold them 3 babies like that? No basket, no bassinet. She just have them. Not even a swaddling cloth. She just holding them. I was like, okay. Anyway, go ahead, Whitney.
Yeah, but like, she was very like Bola said, she was like really clinging to them, but she like put so much pressure on them, and it wasn't intentional. But, like, everyone, like, all of the children could, like... Well, I will say the grandchildren. I would say it's probably the grandchildren who really felt it.
I think her children did, too.
No, yeah, you're right. Because especially, like...
Bruno?
Especially, like... Well, yeah, definitely Bruno. And definitely Peppa. But, like... Julieta seemed like she was really well adjusted.
Yeah, she did. But she was always mad because she was like the one that's like, Mom, you are too hard on the children. Especially her daughter who, like, so we see this movie from the entry point to the family is Mirabel. Mirabel Madrigal, the family Madrigal. They're all like magical people. They all have a gift. But Mirabel was the only one in the family that did not get a gift, and it's so sad. And no one knew why. And her grandmother changed her, like, I feel like she got a little colder towards her, or a little more harsher towards her.
But I also think that I agree with she probably, it seemed like she got a little bit colder to her after that. Mm-hmm. But I also think the fact that you said it was so sad is also sad. The fact that you just saying that, like, because she didn't get a magic power, it's so sad. It's like, but that was one of the points of the movie. It's like, you don't need magic to be special.
You know what? That is a whole thing we need to discuss, because I remember watching at the end of the film and I was just like, so what was her gift? I thought she was supposed to get a gift at the end of the whole thing. And on the door, when the whole family patched up. Mm-hmm. So to me, she was like, I felt like she was a fixer or something. Like, her gift was fixing the family together, because,
well, when
like,
you think
they all
about
had one door,
Abuela
and then she
didn't have a gift per se. She was like the source.
Yeah,
so
she had
I
the
feel
candle.
Like
she was the keeper of the candle.
Mirabel was like almost the new keeper. She was like where the magic came from to be revitalized.
Yeah. Okay. So she don't really have like an actual gift, but I felt like she did have a gift too. Like, without her, the family would have broken apart, because they were like the weight
psychologists.
I don't know, like, honestly, like, you guys, this
she was the only one who wanted to look deeper. She was like, hey.
This movie was like a real like family. Let's family therapy this out, because it was really.
Because she was like, hey, Louisa, you doing okay?
Yes, Louisa was under a lot of. Louisa was really strong, like she could lift up a house or whatever, and so. But it was like she had to continue to be strong for everybody. Anybody needed anything. My house is leaning. My donkeys got out. She's over there with like a pile of donkeys on her. And it's like she had to be strong all the time.
And she felt like that pressure. Like, she was like an atlas. She felt like the entire world was on her and she could not falter ever.
Yeah, and then sometimes she just wanted to chill and relax. And I'm like, why should she have to do all this all the time? She wanted to relax some days. And I was like, she should be able to. And then Isabella, she had to just be this perfect flower child, because, you know, roses were coming out of her everywhere.
She's like, roses.
I know. So she had to be perfect and beautiful.
Like, her sister, Mirabel, was like, oh, she's just perfect. She's the
I know, they didn't even get along. Mirabel and her didn't get along at all.
Which I thought was interesting, because, like, again, about the show Don't Tell, about, like, not knocking you over the head, but it's like, another lesson in, like, you don't know what someone else is going through. Like, she also, just like Louisa, she was going through her own, like, pressures. She's like, I didn't even want to marry that dude.
I know, she almost did a whole, like, this, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this is such an Indian movie thing. Like, marry the person you don't want to really marry because of the family. And I was like, ooh, I'm getting Indian movie vibes. But I was like...
And she was like, and all these roses. Well, what if I don't want to make a rose? And then she made, like, a cactus. She made a cactus, and she's like, oh, I like this.
I know, and I was like... And it's so funny, because lots of times you find that's kind of true for all those perfect, beautiful people. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, they have quirks. They don't want to be perfect just because that's how they look. You know, they're not always like wanting to be that perfect, beautiful thing. And sometimes they're not even that beautiful.
Yeah,
like
and
inside,
you don't know what they're going through. And even
know.
like her own sister, Mirabel didn't even know. She only saw from the outside as well. Even though they're sisters, she was like, oh, everything is perfect for me. She was like, perfect? No.
She's like, I always have to be poised. I always have to be this. I always have to be that. I almost had to marry someone I didn't give a, I didn't care about for the family. And they were all trying to please mom. And then Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno, no. Oh my God, my favorite song of the movie.
That's one of my favorite songs. My favorite song was the I don't know what the name of it is, but the drip, drip, drip.
Oh, pressure like a drip, 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 and it doesn't stop. Yeah, that was Louisa's song.
I loved that.
My sister liked Isabella's song too. Yeah, so of course it's a musical. There was a wonderful good songs in there, and of course because who wrote the songs? Lin-Manuel Miranda. Everything on it had his style. His style, that's the thing I love, when you can catch a style of a person. Those songs all had his style all over them. I was like, this is like Hamilton #2, but for Colombia. You know what I mean? Like,
I also love that
family
it was
drama
based in Colombia, because, like, where was Coco
Colombia
based? Coco was Mexico, right?
Yeah.
I love that, like, now they're kind of, like, going, they're in the Hispanic culture, but they're going to different places. I love that.
I liked it, too. I liked that you saw the different styles and the clothes and everything was very much, you know, it was very much, someone did their research. Someone went to the place, like, let's look at what they wear. Let's look at how they look. Everybody's hair was kind of curly, not all straight, not all this, not all, you know what I mean? It was like real people, and I even like how they did the features of the people, the family, everything. They just look like real people, and I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah.
I love the family dynamics, all the different people in the family, like they all stayed in this one house too. So it's like going back to what I was saying about how in other parts of the world, it is not uncommon to still live with your mother or father or grandfather. You just be like, let me build another wing to the house, or like we just gonna get a bigger place, or it's like a compound place. And the families all live together still. So I love that idea, because you see that in a lot of places in the world, like a lot of places, India, Africa, every place, just different places.
Okay.
Excuse me. I don't know why I keep coughing, y'all. But I like that somebody did a research, somebody went there, somebody decided to make this as authentic as possible to represent this culture, so that those people can be like, wow, this is us. You know what I mean?
I loved it. And it's something about really trying to have the culture shine that comes through for someone of a different culture. We're not Colombian, but we loved it. And there's a real difference, sorry to keep coming back to this other one, between this and Mulan. You feel the love in this, the care that was put into it. And it shows in how it's received. It wasn't just
thrown together.
Yeah, it shows in how it's received. I absolutely love this movie. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And I loved seeing and experiencing this different culture.
I was thrown in. I was enthused. I liked even that all the different family members got different powers, and they weren't like powers you would think. Like one of them is one girl, her gift was she could hear anything. From far distances. She could hear everything. In the family drama, Dolores could hear everything. And I love the little
sounds you would make.
Because she heard everything.
Mirabelle didn't get a gift. And then she just walked off.
Yeah, and I like her little rapping style. Her voice was so kind of husky and low, but she had this she sounded like a New Yorker almost, honestly, like a New York Boricua or something, something in her vocal quality. Whoever the actress was,
Adasa. I'm not familiar with her.
Oh my god, I don't know who played her voiceover, but I liked her little voice. It was great. I loved
her. I knew she was probably in love with Isabella's Isabel.
But the funny thing is with Bruno's power was that he could see the future and everything, and everyone thought it was so bad that he had to go and live behind the house, in the crevices and cracks of the house, because the mom, the abuela, or his mother, made him feel like he wasn't helping the family. When he was trying to be helpful.
I feel like it was a combination of things. I think that was one thing, but I think the thing that really pushed him was his vision, because he was everybody thinks I always give bad news. So if I tell, if they see this vision, they're going to take it in the bad way instead of trying to figure out what is actually happening, and they're going to blame it on Mirabelle. So I'm just going to hide away.
Yeah. You know what it made me think of? It made me think of because all that stuff is what's the word I'm looking for? All that stuff is it can be perceived. It can go either way. Visions, dreams, all that kind of stuff.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
All those kinds of stuff. You don't really know. You're seeing something, but you're not really sure what it's about. It could have another layer, a different meaning. You know what I mean?
And in this case, it was both things.
Yeah, and it made me think of actually That's So Raven, because you know how That's So Raven, she will always have a vision. But it was always just a sliver of something. And she doesn't know the whole picture. But she will react to try and stop the thing from happening, not knowing that because her reactions were actually causing the thing to happen.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, and so it's she would think, oh, I thought this vision was about this, but it was really about this. And it's yeah, because you only got one little picture. And that was the issue with his vision about Mirabelle and the house cracking and breaking. They thought, oh, Mirabelle was going to be... I think Abuela thought Mirabelle was going to be the end of their magic. Which is maybe why she tried to keep her at bay. But I was like... He was saying that it could have gone either way. Maybe she was the glue. Maybe she was the... I like that they dealt with that. And I like that she was the one that brought him out of the shadows. Because he was just... I thought it was so sad. He was the weird uncle, just his little table... That thing made me want to cry so bad because I just look.
Yes, that was heartbreaking.
I was like,
you
he
saw
was
like
right
there was a
there.
crack right in there, so he could see the dinner table, and he had it right against the wall, as if he was,
It was-
still at the table
I
with
know,
his
it was
family.
so
That
sad. I
was
like,
heartbreaking.
I was like, why don't you guys talk about Bruno? Where he at?
Yeah.
And then I saw where I was like, ooh, the rats. He had rat theater going on. I was like, what is happening? And then even Mirabelle was like, Tio, which is uncle in their language. She was like, Tio Bruno, how long you been back here? Like, you've been back here a long time, haven't you?
You've been back here the whole time. That's the.
I know he had so many like idiosyncrasies. He was like knock on wood and all this weird stuff with the salt and the sand, and I was just like, "Oh Lord, we need to get him out of the back of this house."
And I like how they were like they bonded over how they were both the kind of the oddballs, the outcasts
of the family.
of
Yeah,
the family.
yeah. I love the storytelling that was happening,
and I loved the advocacy. Julieta was such an awesome
mom. Yes,
she was like, no, I wish she was like Maribel. I wish you could see yourself like I do. You are perfect just the way you are.
And that's the problem with us people. We cannot see what others see. Mm-hmm. We're always seeing our faults and everything. I was just thinking about this today.
I think some of it was like influence as well. Like her mother saw her like that, but then you got like the grandmother, the matriarch, and like, and then she like the other family members probably kind of take their views from the grandmother since she is the matriarch.
She's the head of the
family.
Like
so they're also influenced to look at her as not quite as special because like the grandmother didn't. But like, so I feel like she wouldn't necessarily have felt that way if there was more of her mother's influence from the rest of her family.
Yeah. And I feel like the father and her tried to like instill that.
I agree. Sorry,
they both loved her.
The father wasn't, as vocal or present, but yeah, you could tell they both felt that way. But it's just like, I feel like, you look at children. Children are so bright and shiny. Mm-hmm. They don't care about stuff like that. It's not until we get in their heads and start influencing
when the world gets in their head and the adults and terrible things.
It makes me think of that movie that I showed you with Barbara Streisand.
The Mirror Has Two Faces.
When she was talking to her mother, she was like, I never thought that I wasn't pretty until you told me things like, push up your nose and things like that. And that makes you think like these things have an effect on children. Children don't have any concept of I'm not perfect.
I'm telling you that stuff is so true because even I remember receiving those kind of messages and stuff as a young person. Mm-hmm. Getting real, y'all, getting deep. It's the new year, why not? I remember those kind of things because I remember I couldn't really see myself really. Mm-hmm. So even I remember growing up being a person of African descent where I could see my culture very much in my face every day. I saw how we celebrated ourselves. I saw how we were loved, how we adorned ourselves, how African Nigerians adorn themselves. I witnessed that every day, all the time. Somebody else coming up to me talking about all this historical stuff about slavery time and that because I'm brown, I couldn't fathom it. I was like, no, not that. That's not how I see myself. I remember being a child and somebody saying that, and I was like, I immediately rejected it. Thank God I did, because I was like, I knew what I saw when I went home. I knew what I saw when we went to our parties and our things. I felt like we were kings and queens. I don't know why. I always thought we were like that, because I was like, oh, we're so rich. Because that's how we were.
You were surrounded by that.
And I did not realize the opposite of what was going on outside of America, like in America. Yeah. Because my home was Nigeria. I went into the world, into America. So it was like hard for me to gain those things, but it's like people were trying to give you those messages. And I was like, nah, I can't receive that because of what my mom was telling us in the house. But then when it comes to just other things with like, oh, well, your nose is like this, or your legs are like, or you're this, or you're that, those things you can, once you start hearing it all the time, that's when you're like, other people see you like this. And then like you think maybe you're like this. Maybe you're not special. Maybe you're not this. And it's so tragic that we do that to ourselves. Yeah. And that's why it's like, I like that the mother was trying to reinforce. She's like, you are okay the way you are. We love you. You didn't need a gift.
You are perfect.
You're awesome the way you are. And it was like, but she felt like she wanted to do something still. She wanted to prove herself, which was a pressure point put on by Abuela. She wanted to prove herself.
And the rest, I feel like the rest of the family, but I feel like the rest of the family took their cues from Abuela.
Yeah, and I didn't like, that's why Abuela was like not cool for me for the most of the movie.
Yeah, because it's like, if it weren't for, like, all of your family looks to you, Abuela, so like they take their cues from you. If you had just embraced and loved her just the way she was, even with no gift, this wouldn't have been a problem. The house wouldn't have cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cracks came because of the cracks in the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Whitney. You better analyze that mess. Like, you heard that, y'all? That was some good analysis right there.
Like, because they started to feel these things. Like, the pressure started to build up. You see Louisa, like, she's like losing her strength a little bit because she's got so much pressure. Mm-hmm. Same thing with,
and
like...
it's almost like the magic knew this. And it was like, I need this girl to help with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, that's why I like how they resolved the movie. Like, I like one that she confronted the grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, grandma was blaming her for everything that was going wrong at the time because so much stuff was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And she was blaming Mirabelle. And then Mirabelle's like, no, grandma, you are the one. She threw it right back in her face, and then the house blew up. I was like, oh, Lord, the house is gone. First of all, before we get into the deep stuff again, I would love to be like in a house that just like moved and talked to you and did all this stuff. Like,
I did love that. I love that the house was its own character.
Yeah, the house was amazingly friendly, warm, opening and doing stuff. You were like, oh, the house will wake me up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need no alarm. The house will bring my alarm to me. I love that the house was like, oh, I can't go over there. You need to, like, behind the doors and stuff.
I'm sorry. I just got upset all over again. I thought about Antonio's ceremony when he got his power. And they're like, let's take a picture with the family. I'm like, how nobody noticed that she is not in the picture?
Yeah.
Like, that is messed up. I was so mad.
Yeah, that was sad. And she had
I
to
was
go
like,
all by
that's
herself.
just reinforcing that she is not important to you guys.
Yeah.
Which can reinforce it for her internally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it weren't for stuff like that, these external forces, I feel like we wouldn't feel this way about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we start out, like I said, perfect. We're like, as children, we're like, we're perfect.
Yeah,
nothing's
we
wrong
don't
with
think
us.
of ourselves as lesser or bad, or we just think of being. And it's terrible that all these things get put upon us to make us feel like, and it's just, I don't know what it's called, but it's terrible, you guys, and it's not cool. But I like that they dealt with this kind of issue.
I love
because it's a really, I feel like self-acceptance is really like the main theme of the movie.
I do. It made me think of, what was it? Penelope.
Yeah, the one with the pig nose.
Yeah.
Because I love Jane McAvoy. Yeah.
I do.
And then
Jane
I think what was her name? Christina Ricci.
I do love Christina Ricci.
Yeah, she
I haven't
played
seen
Penelope.
her in a while, but like in a lot of stuff.
I haven't seen her in a while.
I do
either.
like her whenever I see her though. But like I love that it was like a self thing. It's like all she had to do was just be loved. So when she loved herself, she broke the spell. And then her mother was heartbroken because she was like, all I had to do was just love you just the way you were, and I could have broken it, but because I put all this pressure for you to become normal, like, you could have been fine.
Exactly. And then that's why I like that and sometimes I know that, like, especially in, like, I keep talking about this because it's so true that a lot of these cultures that are collectivistic, where there's rank, you have to obey and listen. Elders are so revered, but I'm like, you revere them, yes, but at the same time, they are still just people. Just because they do something and think some way doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. Yeah. Sometimes they reinforce the negative thing just because they've been done, traditions and all that kind of stuff, but it's been done, but it's not correct. So I felt like as much as everyone was like, yeah, we have to listen to Abuela, but it was like, no, Abuela is wrong, you know? Yeah. She's been wrong. And I like that she came to terms with it and recognized her role in what was going on. And then she went after Mirabelle.
Again. Julieta again. Just Julieta was like, she wasn't like a
big,
in the movie that
much. Yeah, she wasn't in it that much.
She was like influential to me just for how much she loved her children and how much she was an advocate for her child. Like, no, you are too harsh on her. She is perfect just the way she is. You need to stop.
Yeah. I love that grandma at the end changed, that she recognized what happened, and then even though they saw
she was affecting the rest of her family,
and that she realized it.
Because like I said, well, no, like you said, the only of her direct children who was well adjusted was Julieta.
Yeah, Peppa had some issues, but because she just her emotions were all over the place.
But it's like based on the movie, it seems like she had more issues because people had issues with her issues. Like, if they just let her feel her feelings, it would have been fine. Just like at the end when
I felt like they had to control her because
Bruno
she was
like, I wasn't trying to upset you at your wedding. I was just trying to say you looked upset, and I was just trying to like communicate that your brother loves you. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. It was like a bunch of miscommunication. This is why communication is key. I'm confrontational, but because I was like, stuff needs to get out. Instead of like everything being bottled up, you know, I don't know. That's just my own personal take. Some people are like really not about like confronting things or issues and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it's like, let it be said at least, so that it's out there, so somebody understands you, as opposed to like, oh, you're just supposed to like feel and understand you by osmosis. Like, no, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're feeling. Please tell me, you know?
People, I love Frozen, but conceal, don't feel is not right.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's why she had to let it go.
That's right. That's right.
You need to let it go. You need to let it go. To the I, to the no. Yes, but I mean, this movie had so many wonderful themes, family importance. Go ahead.
I loved how. Sorry to.
No, you're fine.
Okay, but I also loved. Abuela had her flaws, but I did love how she was trying. She didn't mean what she did. I loved how she had such a community mindset. She was like, the community counts on us.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about status. I think a little bit got into like maybe
arrogance. It was the responsibility.
But she was like, the community needs us. And I felt like it really was from a like, we need to support our community and not so much from like the arrogant standpoint.
Yeah.
It might have started to get a little bit that way. Like, what would people think? But I think a lot of it was from the community counts on us. We need to protect these people.
And so you need to be perfect for them. That's what I think. And then she put all that pressure on her family, her children, and then her grandchildren as well.
And herself.
Yeah.
Because some of that was like pressure she was putting on herself because she's like, these people depend on us. And the thing that I loved, because I didn't know how it was going to go, I was afraid. I thought it was going to be some Beauty and the Beast with people with pitchforks for a second. Like, the magic is gone!
Yeah, like, what did you do?
But it's like, no, the villagers came together like, you
and
guys
they helped them build the house back up.
Helped us. We are here to help you.
I know. That was so beautiful.
It was.
Cue the waterworks.
I know.
I was like, why can't we get this in real life? Like, why are we not doing this in real life? Anyway.
I love the support. They're like, you guys have always been there for us. We are going to be here for you.
Yeah, it was amazing. They helped them build their house back up. I even liked that the little butterfly was in the house decoration, because the butterflies where the grandma and her came together. And it was almost like, I'm not going to lie, my sister was saying this when we were watching it. She was like, she thinks the second vision that Bruno had, where they thought she had to embrace Abuela, like she had to embrace Isabella. She was like, maybe it was actually the grandma that she had to embrace.
I think. Well, I don't know. I think it was. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like. I think it was actually both. Because when you think about it, she had like it seemed like she had like a good relationship with all of her family except for her sister. Even her grandmother had gotten a little colder. But not like exactly.
Not so bad. Like, not terrible. Exactly. She wasn't like shunning her all the time, but.
Exactly. She was just like, you're kind of messing stuff up. Why don't you go sit in the corner?
Yeah.
So that, but not like, I'm shunning my grandchild. But like her sister and her, Isabella and Maribel, were like, just like cats and dogs. Yeah. And that, it was about the family dynamic. The house was about the family. So it's the fact that
Magic
there was.
knew where the fracturing was happening.
Exactly.
Where he's like, it was like, the magic was like, you guys need to join together here. There's too much. Bruno's not in the house. All the kids need to be perfect. Isabella and Maribel are not happy. Exactly. Maribel doesn't feel part of the family. All this kind of stuff, Are cracks.
Yeah. In the family dynamic. And so that was one of the main cracks that you could clearly see that one. So it's like, no, the house is like, no, you guys need to mend this because you guys are just like so at odds. Clearly at odds.
Yeah.
And you guys don't understand each other. You need to gain some understanding.
I'm telling y'all, this movie was like a great family therapy movie. Like, and my mom was talking about, because she watched it with us, and the second time I watched it, and she was like, she felt like where the mom was the matriarch, the one that brought the candle, and she really felt like she was saying that if you look at it, the door, she said like the girl had her gift of bringing everybody together. That was her gift. Excuse me. She said that was her gift because she felt like, if you notice it, the family was able to come in all together by that one door. Whereas opposed to before, it's always just the one person. She was like, she let everyone be able to come in together. The whole family complete with Bruno added. Everybody's together. And my mom was like, that was the magic of Mirabelle. And I was like, Mom, there you go. There you go. I was like, wow, Mom, that was so deep. And so it really was like a family therapy. Like, it's about getting together, loving your family, treating everyone with respect, kindness, get iron your issues out, I I really like that. And it might be even speaking to the culture. They'll be like, hey, we need to do that, y'all. Maybe they're trying to say something. I don't know. But it was wonderfully received through this movie. And the songs were great, y'all. The songs were great. Yes. Bruno was my favorite song, but I love the little song at the end about the
caterpillar one?
Caterpillars.
It was really pretty.
And then the Colombia song, the dance. Encanto. I love a good Spanish song. I'm not going to lie. I really do.
Oh, yeah. I did love the Encanto song at the beginning.
I loved it in Spanish. I was like, oh,
the kids kept trying to ask her, what's your power? And she tried to, keep putting them on.
I know. She kept trying to explain it. And I was like, Mirabelle. I just love the character they picked to bring the movie, I guess the view we saw the movie through is Mirabelle. I love that. She was like the vehicle to take us through the story of her family and everything. I just thought it was a great choice. I really liked this movie. I really liked it.
I know you said that, you thought that she was going to get a power, a gift.
I thought.
But I was like, no, Disney's not going to do that because I think they're trying to say something to children as well. You don't have to be
you're more than just your gifts. That's another thing too.
And she
for
said
people
that
who
too.
are especially for people who are always I got to be the sports star. I got to be this and that. Because I remember I had a friend who she was like, I'm going to be the baller, and then she got a debilitating injury and that canceled out her whole college ball career and she was super depressed and did not know what to do with herself. And I'm like, that's because you don't know that you're more than just this.
You can't build your entire identity over this one thing about yourself.
Everybody is more than their gifts, they're all the things. You are an individual person,
more than
regardless
the sum
of your
parts.
roles. Exactly, those parts and the roles you've been playing, you're more than that. You're a person. And so you are awesome and wonderful just as you are without you being a ball player or a good musician or a singer or a very smart tech person. You're just, you by yourself is amazing. And I really like that. I really like that.
We like you just the way you are.
Just the way you are. Bridget Jones' Diary, yes! You like me just as I am. I remember that line.
And then her friends are like, not a little bit thinner.
Oh, a slightly bigger breast. That's that toxic stuff, y'all. Anyway, all right, so let's get into the rating unless we want to add anything more.
No, I think,
any other parts stuck out besides the songs? The songs were great, y'all.
Oh, yes.
Y'all go listen to the track. Just go listen to it. It's really good. Lin-Manuel Miranda strikes again.
Indeed. No, I think that's it. I think we can wrap it up.
All right, so let's go for the rating. The rating is next.
Okay, you go first.
I want to give this movie, I give it 8 glasses and a monocle.
Nice.
Yes, it's a solid movie to me. I really enjoyed it. I watched it more than once, and I wanted my nieces and everybody to watch it. It's a good movie, very good movie.
I'm giving it 10 glasses.
Hey, pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. I guess because I wanted to know what her power was. I was just like, what? Oh, and then there was a point in there where my sister was. Let me ask you this, and everybody else, maybe you guys think of this too, but my sister was saying, I was wondering what it was that caused them to move from their home. The abuela and her husband.
That was an interesting thing. Another reason I like this movie, because I'm guessing it's something from Colombian history. Yeah. And I don't know about it, but the fact that it happened in the movie made me interested enough to maybe go look it up, which,
you did look it up?
No, I haven't yet, but I want to because of the movie. My
sister said it was white people. The Europeans or the colonizers. And I was like, Charlotte, what are you talking about? I was like, this is not... I was like, these people look like... She's like, no, they're shrouded in shadow. She's like, they just didn't want to focus on it. But she's like, you could see it was when the colonizers came to do this. And I was like, what? My sister is adamant on that. It was white people. And I was like, no offense to white folks, but I'm just saying, y'all know what y'all was doing back in the day. what white people were doing back then. They were colonizing everywhere with violence and everything. So my sister was adamant that it was that. My mom got on board with her. It was we had this whole discussion about what they were doing. Even my mom talked about what they were doing in Nigeria and how a lot of Americans don't know African history, what really happened. It was so interesting that this movie sparked that debate, not a debate, like this conversation in my house. But that little part, I was just like, I thought it was just like some sort of local tribal thing or local cultural issue or civil war or unrest. That happens everywhere. My sister was like, no. She's like, you need to go to the history and figure it out. And I was like, I do need to go read up on that because it wasn't clear. And I guess I didn't like that because I just like to know everything. But that part, I don't know, Whitney. I was wondering what that was about too. And I was like, what caused them to leave their home?
Yeah.
Who were these people that were coming with violence?
Like The Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
Like, because of the harder they fall, I like looked up like most of those characters because I'm like, oh, based on like actual people, and that got me interested enough to actually look them up. And this like caused the same thing, like because of the thing. I'm like, I'm like, what happened? Did something take place in Colombian history around that time?
Probably so.
And that's another awesome thing about like movies or great like stories. Like they will make you interested enough to look up these things. Just like Watchmen, Black Wall Street. I had never heard of it until Watchmen.
Well, they don't like to tell us all of the histories, as you know. I've actually learned more history outside of school than I did in school. Like it's phenomenal how much they do not tell us, especially with Black history, African history. African history is not taught at all, which is, I'm not gonna lie, this point I will bring up. I was like, now Disney, I was like, okay, Disney, now we need like a story of Africans. I was like, my sister was so like, this is one of the things like she really got to her, because she was like, this is another one. Like, they did Coco, they did this, they have Luca, they have all these things, they have Raya and the like, they have all these things for the other cultures. But it's like, why don't they ever do one for Africa? She's like, Tiana is not us. She's like, that's an American story. And Tiana is like the least liked super Disney princess story. A lot of people did not like her story. Excuse me, y'all. But I was like, okay, we need something that's not just the Lion King, about animals and stuff. I was like, all right, Disney. Now I'm about to be like Simu Leo and be like, okay, so can we get an Asian hero now? Like, can we get an African, like, can we get one with real African inspired stories? And I was like, I hope so. I would like to see that, because she's like, this is evidence that it works. And Black Panther is evidence that it works. She was like, they need to look more into these. And, and it just kind of like, it was like a sore spot for us talking about it. And I was like, yeah, but maybe some future generations will do that. There was also news that, remember the series I tell you about the Children of Blood and Bone, which is a fantasy series about the African gods, because nobody knows about. They have their own mythology, the gods that used to be worshipped and everything. The Orisha is what they're called, and they are finally. It's gotten picked up for a Disney series.
Oh, Disney's picking it up. Yeah,
Disney's picking it up, I think, and Paramount Pictures. Anyway, I don't know. Announcement came out. I think it's Disney. Don't quote me on it. I'm gonna look back at it. It might be Paramount Pictures. It might be Paramount. Yeah, Paramount won it, not Disney. Paramount wanted, so I don't know if they're making a series or they're making a movie, but they're gonna do all the books, and the third book is gonna come out next year, in the series. But I was just like, well, this is a chance where we'll get to see some more series that actually address these things that we can finally learn and see, because nobody knows about them, and they're there. There's plenty of it. My mom was like, she used to teach them. She used to tell people in the jails, when she worked in the jails, that you guys don't know African history. So that when anyone was going home, she told them to bring stuff back. So they would actually show the children in the jails all the stuff. And they were shocked. They're like, Africa looks like this. There's this. And she was like, they don't teach you anything. So I think it will be a nice chance now for them to do one. I'm like, do that, Disney. Some people write stuff, okay? Y'all write stuff. That's my last little. I'm off my soapbox now.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I enjoyed Encanto very much. I loved it. I loved getting into the culture. It was a great watch, and I highly recommend it, y'all. I highly recommend it.
And I obviously highly recommend it with the 10 glasses I gave it.
Yes, she did. All right, so we are blurred. We talked it out. We walked it out, talked it out, all that good stuff, and now we got blurred out, y'all. We blurring out.
Blurred.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use, and share the show with other blurreds and non-blurred family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled CAPSHUN. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @blerdtalkbw. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blurred Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLA SHADE, D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.